Hey guys, Matt here. Okay, so I've got the SKS disassembled, and I thought, you know what, while I've got it taken down, while I'm doing some work to it, I might as well do a video talking about the whole issue of SKS's slam firing. I've got an older SKS video that was done like 3 years ago, and I pretty consistently get questions on that video asking me, well, I thought, about getting an SKS, but I hear they slam fire and they're dangerous, so I don't want to get one. So I want to explain what a slam fire is and how to fix it. Now, what slam fire is really simple. Basically, the firing pin gets frozen forward, so when you rack the bolt back to load one in the chamber, when the bolt goes back forward, the firing pin's sticking out, it hits the primer on the round, and boom, it goes off. The reason it does that is because it's dirty. It's packed full of cosmoline. If you don't know what cosmoline is, it's that nasty grease that you find all over old military surplus guns. It's basically, it's kind of like Vaseline, but it's old and dried up and nasty and yellowed, and a lot of times it's in hard little chunks around the action. And what happens is it gets inside the firing pin channel because these things are coated in cosmoline, even the internals. Okay, and that's basically that helps prevent rust and keep it from getting damaged from moisture when they're crated off and shipped to different places. Well, that stuff can sit on there for decades before it ever gets taken out of a crate and sold at a store. And even then, a lot of times people don't ever clean it all off properly. So what happens is the firing pin gets frozen forward because it's packed full of cosmoline, and of course it slam fires. Real easy fix. You just need to clean it. So I'm going to show you how to clean it. And what you're going to need to clean it is obviously the rifle. You're going to need a chunk of wood like this. All right. This is everybody. If you do any sort of home gunsmithing, you need a chunk of wood like this. Just a 2x4 that you can drill holes in to knock pins out. Okay. That's what it's for. You're going to need a little pair of pliers. You need some solvent, some gun oil, a Q-tip, hammer, and you're going to need a punch, a very small punch. Now this one actually I got right out of the SKS cleaning kit. Okay, this is a punch slash tool for the cleaning rod. But of course I use it for a punch. I use other cleaning rods. So let's go ahead and get into disassembling this real quick. I'll show you how to get to the bolt, and then we'll show you how to take the bolt apart. Alright guys, here we go. This is how you're going to disassemble it. If you own an SKS, you should know how to do this anyway. But you're just going to take this lever back here, put your hand over the receiver cover, that's what I like to do. Take that lever, flip it all the way into the up position, and then you're just going to pull it straight out. Alright, now that receiver cover is going to slide back just a little bit because it's under a little bit of recoil spring tension, but not much. You're going to take the receiver cover off, put that to the side. You're going to take the recoil spring out, put that to the side. Alright, then you got your bolt and carrier assembly here. You're going to slide those back, and you're going to pull them out, and it's a two-piece assembly here. Alright, this is your carrier. We're not messing with that at all. It's got no moving parts. It basically just holds the bolt in place. And this is your bolt. Alright, as you can see here, we've got a firing pin right here. Firing pin here. It runs all the way through the bolt. This is what your bolt should sound like if it's clean and ready to be fired. Okay, it sounds like that because what we have here is a free float firing pin. It's not spring loaded at all. So it needs to be able to move back and forth, okay? Like that. It needs to be able to freely float back and forth. If you shake it like this, it should rattle. If it doesn't, that means it's too dirty, and that's where you can have slam fire issues. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to drive this pin out here. We're going to push it this way. This is the back side of that pin that's kind of oblong shaped here. And this is where your board comes in handy. So let's go ahead and get that ready. Alright guys, well here we are. We've got the chunk of wood set up. This is why you need a special chunk of wood that you can just drill holes in. I had to drill this hole specifically for this bolt. The reason being is if you look here, okay, sticks down further here, sticks down further here, sticks out further here. You can't set it flat on anything. It tries to rock. And when you're trying to punch out a pin, you need to be able to sit flat on the surface. So go right here on the corner. I can just drill a new hole, and there we go. So we're just going to take our punch, make sure we're lined up over the hole. Going to take a few whacks, and there we go. So we got the pin out, see right there. I do believe the pin is now jammed in that hole, so we're going to tap that out real quick. Get it out of there. There we go. And we will see what the pin looks like. And you see the pin is right there. It's kind of just this little odd shaped pin. Alright, that's what holds everything together. And basically what that does is that holds in your firing pin. This is your firing pin right here. It's going to slide out of the back. Alright, this is what your firing pin looks like. It's basically just a triangle shaped, it's got pointed on this end, got a little bit of a flat side on that end. You can see you've got the little hump right here. That hump goes towards the front, towards where the firing pin actually strikes the primer. Alright, and that hump goes towards the top of the bolt. So this is the top of your bolt, okay, right here. When you put it back in, you want to make sure that that little hump right there faces up that way. and then you're going to slide that pin back in there. Now, how you clean that off, this off is really simple. Once you got the firing pin out, obviously you're going to take solvent, clean the firing pin off real good, you know, all the cosmetic and stuff, but then you want to get this channel cleaned out. The easiest way to do that is to take a Q-tip, soak it in solvent, and shove it in the hole all the way in. You're going to shove that all in, and you're going to clean it out, pull it out. Do that a couple times with both sides of the Q-tip. Make sure it's cleaned out real good. Then you're going to take your gun oil, and you're going to spray the channel out really good. You're going to spray the firing pin off really good, and then you're done. That's it. Then you're going to put it back together. All right? Really easy to put back together, exactly the opposite of the way we took it apart. Just want to make sure you line up the pin correctly. Tap it back in there all the way. When you get towards the end, when it's almost all the way in, you want to use your punch just a little bit because you don't want to accidentally hit the extractor with the hammer. And then you put everything back together. And that's really it. That's all there is to making sure you don't have an issue with slam fire on an SKS. It's really a simple thing. It's only caused because it's just dirty. That's it. These things sit in cosmoline for decades at a time. They need to be cleaned out, just like any gun would. So anyway, guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope somebody found it useful and educational. And appreciate you guys watching. We will talk to you later. Thanks.